And remember one thing, if you identify yourself, remember, if you have sold yourself for anything short of Jannah, you messed up. You could not identify your true price. There is only one price for this life, which is heaven. There is no other price. Inshallah, I remind this to myself first, but inshallah may Allah allow me to practice this, what I am saying, and then I remind you after that inshallah remember this in your life. There is no other price except Jannah. So inshallah, mashallah, I look at you people, I really feel so nice, so good. Allah has blessed you all, even the young of you and the older ones of you, with such beautiful voices, and the beautiful use of these voices. I really feel very good. I just keep listening to you from far. MashaAllah.
Muhammad wa ali bayt Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And that young boy too, included. MashaAllah. Very good job. Very good job. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المنتجبين سيما على بقية الله في الأرضين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ وَمَنْ يَشْكُرْ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ صدق الله العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The voice is a little bit messed up, but inshallah we'll work it out. So this verse that I read today says that, and certainly we gave wisdom to Luqman, saying, what did we say? Be grateful to Allah. Be grateful to Allah. And whoever is grateful does favor to his own self. For Allah doesn't need anything. That's the gist of it. If we are grateful to Allah, it is for our own benefit. If we are not grateful, the only person who is going to be at loss will be us ourselves. For Allah doesn't need anything from us. Inshallah. So we are going to, there is a whole conversation that is coming afterwards, inshallah, and we will address to that. Before, just like usual, I would like to address a very key question, which is this. So it is very common, again, when we go to school, college, universities, outside, people say, you Shia, Rafizi, Bidat, you came into existence from Battle of Karbala, or after Imam Ali didn't get the Wilaya in terms of actual power. Imam Ali is believed, whether we choose him or not. Thank you very much. Whether we choose him, let's say salawat, inshallah.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So, Imam Ali, the first caliph came, Imam Ali didn't get the seat of power, so you guys took your own way. And Shia and Sunni came out. You are a splinter group. You are a group, which is true. Shia means group. That's the meaning of the word. But group in the sense that you broke away from the mainstream. So there is a mainstream Islam, and then there is a Shia version of Islam. It's important to understand. So I would like to address this question in about 5 to 7 minutes, inshallah, before I go towards Huquq wal Ibad, because I think it is relevant. And the topic is big. I'm just going to touch and give you some cues in this, and then move towards our topic, come back. So, let's say a salawat, inshallah.
محمد وآل محمد.
So, some people say that Shia came into existence after Umar, the second caliph, Umar ibn Khattab, invaded Persia. These people just don't know history. Persia was Sunni for a very long time. So that's that. No further comment on this for now. Second, they say the most important and most common, especially from the Wahhabi side, comes an argument or a critique or an accusation that this is Shias are Sabai, Abdullah ibn Saba. I don't know, have you ever heard this?
Yeah.
Abdullah ibn Saba. So, Abdullah, and I'm going to talk about this inshallah if we met some other time. But I'm just going to give a reference. Read the book by, if somebody has time to read the book, please read the book by Allama Muhammad Murtaza Askari. Okay, Murtaza Askari, who is a very, very renowned historian who has read a lot about this Abdullah ibn Saba. Abdullah ibn Saba, in short, was brought in by Ibn Jarir Tabari, who took his name in reference to a person that he himself, Tabari himself, called Kadhab. In Arabic, Kadhib is Judah, liar. Kadhab is somebody that anything that comes out of his mouth, you don't accept it. That's the word used in Arabic for such a person. You are a kadhab, meaning you are such a big liar that whatever comes out of your mouth, I am not going to accept it. The only person narrating the primary source of Abdullah ibn Saba is this person. Only source, the first source to which all other sources of Abdullah ibn Saba go to comes from this one person. And so on and so forth. So that's the usual, just to negate what they say. There is no historical reference, there is no historical truth according to any historian who has talked about Abdullah ibn Saba. It's a fictional character who never existed. So that's that. And details some other time. Then the next question. So does it, well, okay, Abdullah ibn Saba was not there, but we still are a splinter group. The other person can say, no. So let's say what is Shia? So I'm going to give you two examples. This is the time of Sulh Hudaybiyah. Sulh Hudaybiyah, the Hudaybiyah treaty where Prophet made peace treaty with the kuffar, right? Okay, and just as a summary going forward. Now Prophet comes, the treaty is being signed. Yes, Imam Ali is there, other people are also there. Prophet says to Imam Ali, the kuffar, the infidels, those who didn't believe in Prophet, the enemy, said, cut the name Muhammad Rasulullah and write Muhammad ibn Abdullah, because if we accepted you Rasulullah, we wouldn't be fighting. Said, okay, fine. He says to Imam Ali, cut this. What did Imam Ali do?
Second.
He cut it. He cut it. Yes, that is true. Read the history. There is no dispute in history about this. None whatsoever. This is a historical fact. He came in and he cut it. Now, there are other people, no names, other people going around in the camp while this treaty is being signed. So one goes to the other and says, do you think he is a prophet? The other says, I think so. No, these are history books and they are undisputed words. Yeah, undisputed. No, the first one. Yeah. There is no dispute about this in historical books. Whichever book you take, doesn't matter. Whoever writes it. Just take the primary history books. So this one person goes to the other, says, do you think he is the prophet of God? He says, I think so. He says, really? Says, yeah. He says, man, I had never had so much doubt, as much doubt I have today. Right? And then he says, why are we signing this treaty? Why should we sign this? So in the camp, there was a disagreement. There was a disagreement. A lot of people heeded to this, and there came a time where Prophet had to call a bay'ah and pledge of allegiance. He said, and he called for pledge of allegiance. That, okay, if you have a problem, let's see. So they came back and, everything. Who is the chief of Shia after our Prophet? Imam Ali. Is there a dispute about this? No. What did he do? No questions asked. What Prophet said, he did. No questions asked. No questions asked. Second example, Hazrat Abbas did not want to move the camp. 2nd of Muharram. Did not want to move the camp. 7th of Muharram. From 2nd to 7th. They were there. From the water, Imam comes and says, do it. Does he argue? No. Anywhere is it written that Hazrat Abbas argued with Imam Hussain? He was a great general. He was a very, very, very brave and very skilled man. And he could have said, Imam, I am, why not? No. Imam knows. End. Finished. So those who can say that, oh, Imam Ali is, Imam Ali, well, how about this one? This is Hazrat Abbas. He's not a Masoom, even though he's as close to a Masoom as anybody can be. So the Shi'at is ta'abbud. Whatever Prophet said, we do. In totality. No questions asked. He says, do this, we say, okay. He says, stand, we stand. He says, sit, we sit. He says, go this way, we say, okay. He says, go that way, we go that way. Right? Now, if we ask questions, that's a different issue that we want to clarify ourselves. But we don't, our actions are not dependent upon our knowledge. If he has said it, that is enough. Right? So, so in terms of Shi'at, we are the true followers. We don't. Now let's take another step. Prophet said, Man kuntu mawlahu wa hada aliyun mawla. Didn't happen. We are not going to talk about it for now. Didn't happen for reasons. Didn't happen. Do we agree to what didn't happen? No. We say, who is the Mawla? Imam Ali is the Mawla. Right? After the Prophet, what happened? Certain people, when they came into power, they said, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that's again documented in history, actually documented in Sahih Bukhari also. It's written there. That our Prophet made it halal. I am the one who make it haram. I make it haram. So he made it halal. I forbid it. I know more than Prophet does. That's essentially what happened. Right? So, do we agree with this? No. And instead, when this kind of trend moved to the epic, Karbala happened. When it reached to the peak, what we believe, we still mourn it today. Right? So, we as Shia are totally against against any kind of adulteration in the religion. So obviously, how can we be the splinter one? And this is just a historically documented thing. I'm not taking anything which is historically disputed. There is no dispute about it. You can ask. That's just a matter of fact. It's written in all the books of all the parties. So that's that. So Shia means a follower of a prophet belonging to the group that believe in the totality of religion without any decrement in it or increase in it. The preservation of religion of Prophet. So inshallah, what we have discussed, some of the things yesterday also included, that it is the job of people that when we sit on podium, when we go to Hajj, how do we propagate these things? How do we learn these things? When we go to Hajj, what is the point of Hajj? Come together, we discuss things. Jum'ah, we come together, we discuss things. Our Aimma, Namaz-e-Jamaat, same thing. Our Aimma created an institution of people coming together. To do what? To learn and implement, be better and propagate the true religion. So if we started, or maybe not knowingly, if unknowingly, we start differentiating in our religion and we start saying this part of religion we like, this part of religion we don't like, then we become the same people that we are accusing of inshallah we will not do it. So some of the issues that I raised yesterday was not to create a stir, not to create a problem, instead to remind us that we are here to do ta'abbud. We don't have to do everything in our life if we don't need to. Because as I told you, the do's and don'ts of Islam are, you can count on these hands. But it is one thing to not do something because we don't need to. But it is another thing to, God forbid, condemn it. Inshallah, we will not condemn and or be apologetic about certain aspects of our religion that we don't understand correctly. Inshallah, instead we will go embark on a path of understanding, and till we understand, we at least are not going to condemn it, inshallah. So that is very important, because the whole point of coming to these majalis is to improve ourselves, to be better than we were before, and to follow the path of Allah. That's the whole point. If we miss that, then what's the whole? Then we miss the point of coming to majlis, inshallah. I remind this to myself and to all of you. Let's say a salawat, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the thing is that, people do, when we are doing our weddings and so on, we do mangni, so on and so forth. I am not opposed to it. If people want to do it, they can do it, fine. However, they should also understand that there is no fiqhi, there is no religious connotation of it. After doing a mangni or like an engagement or something like that, people are not mahram for each other. So they cannot practice those certain kind of things for which the engagement ceremony is intended. It is a ceremony which is not sanctioned by our religion. So something which is sanctioned by our religion at least should be a part of this kind of thing, inshallah. So that is important for us to realize, so that we follow the path. That's the most important thing, inshallah. I want to request you, before I go forward, to recite one Surah Fatiha for Fatima Begum. She is the grandmother of my wife. So she requested that, kind of, I am honoring her request.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So today we are going to talk about Huququl Ibad. Huququl Ibad I am going to talk about, and we are going to talk about what do we mean by Huququl Ibad, what is the source of Huququl Ibad, who defines them, what do they mean, and how can we understand them, and what are we going to do about them. Obviously the topic is so big that I cannot encompass it in one speech. I can never encompass it. It is so big because it comes from the Almighty. However, we need to talk about it in essence. So what do we mean by Huququl Ibad? we have to understand the meaning of haq. The word haq. Right? And we're going to talk about this. The source of Huququl Ibad is obviously Allah. Who defines them? Allah defines them. Without the definition by Allah, Huququl Ibad are meaningless. We don't understand the meaning of it. And what do they mean? They are the rights and responsibilities of people towards Allah and for among themselves, between among themselves. So, and how can we understand them? We need to take an interest. When we have a need, we need to know what that need is, and then how to interact. Then when we realize that we have a need to interact, we need to know how to interact. Once we know how to interact, we need to know where are we going to learn it from. We need a teacher to tell us how we are going to interact with each other. And then we go towards the guide and the guidance and towards the salvation. So that's that. However, it starts from the word haq. Haq means right. Haq also means truth. Both in Arabic. And there is other things. So in coming to the topic in essence of it, people divide Huququl Ibad into Huququllah and Huququl Ibad. Right? So it's a very common saying when somebody we ask, did you do Roza? Say no. Did you do Namaz? No. Why? Well, these are Huququllah. You know, Allah is forgiving. Allah can forgive. The main thing is Huququl Ibad. Because these are the Huquq of Banda. It is a nice sentence. However, unfortunately, it is something which has no bottom. So then there is a reason behind it. There is a reason behind it. The reason is that Huququllah are designed for what? We discussed in our previous discussion. Huququllah are designed for our growth, our improvement, to go and lead us towards salvation. Salvation where? In this world and in the other world. So are we an island? Meaning in this world when we are living, we are not interacting with anyone? Obviously not. We are interacting with other people. If we are interacting with other people, they have rights and obligations. Automatically. So if they have rights and obligations, these must be defined. Simple. Now definer is Allah. Okay. So if Allah has huquq upon us, that's fine too. So the purpose of namaz is obedience. The purpose of Sawm, the Roza, the fasting is taqwa. Right? And so on and so forth. So if we are not doing Huququllah, then on what basis are we going to practice Huququl Ibad? Because Allah has designed His huquq so that we can practice Huququl Ibad. Once we do Huququllah, it is through that we come to Huququl Ibad. If we don't fulfill Huququllah, what kind of Huququl Ibad are we going to fulfill? Then what happens is, these Huququl Ibad will be defined by who? By us. But if we are going to define it, then what will happen? Our bias is going to come into it. Then if we like this person, we are going to favor this person and not that person. So the society is starting to become going into chaos and segregation. Huququl Ibad without Huququllah leads to segregation, division, inappropriate implementation of whatever the rights and obligations are. Because now the definition, instead of Allah defining it, we are defining it and we are blaming Allah for it. There is no concept of Huququl Ibad without Huququllah. That's a folly. That's a very, very unfortunate way of thinking, that one can perform Huququl Ibad without Huququllah. How can it be? It's not possible. It's a folly. So, let me give some example. Let me give you some example. So, today, it's a very common, very common statement. If you go to any house, what do they say? Oh, today's children are like this. Very common. If children are playing and doing something, today's children. Today's children. Very common. Do you agree? I mean, maybe many of us don't do it here, but when you go outside, this is pretty common. It's pretty common. So let me recite, because it is important, let me bring forward an example. So, let me recite a verse from Quran in front of you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانَ لِابْنِهِ وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانَ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. So it says, remember the time when Luke, who knows the name of Luke? Star Wars, Skywalker, right? Good. Do you know where this Luke name comes from? Comes from the Bible, and it is also this name in Quran is called Luqman, Lukeman. Okay, in English, right? So Luqman. So remember, he was a very wise man, very wise man, and honorable man, good man. So then Quran is saying what? It's saying, remember the time when Luqman came to his son and he was ya'izuhu, meaning he was telling him something extremely important in a very loving way. In a very loving way. Not, hey, come here, have a seat, listen to what I'm saying. No, not like that. He says, Ya Bunayya, oh my dear beloved son. Ya Bunayya, that's what it is. There is no word in English for Ya Bunayya. There is no word. Ya Bunayya, oh my dear beloved child, my dear beloved son. La tushrik billah. This is the only verse in which Quran has introduced the training of a child how to train a child, what to talk about with children, how to train them, the role of father and child. So what is he saying? La tushrik billah. Now there is actually a conversation that happened before. That is why our Masumeen have taught those things to us. So this verse is the culmination of that conversation. So the son of Luqman had some questions pertaining to what we call today as proof of God. He came to him, Luqman talked to the child, and then after the child was satisfied, and his questions were answered, the discussion completed. At the conclusion of the discussion, Luqman then says that, oh my dear child, now that I have answered you, now that you are satisfied with your questions and I have addressed your issues, now I give you an advice, a word of caution. La tushrik billah. Don't do shirk with Allah. Inna shirka la zulmun azim. It's the gravest injustice. Right? So what is he doing? The primary issue, again you see over and over again, it comes back to Tawheed. Comes back to Tawheed. The core issue is Tawheed. If Tawheed is not right, everything else is going to be messed up. Completely messed up. So what is he training? He's spending his time with the child doing what? Teaching him about Tawheed. So if we don't, so let me tell you, I was sitting in a meeting with my supervisor. So this meeting went on and he said, in a very good way, he said, I have bought a place for my father. It's one of the top-notch nursing home. Okay? And I've done so much good thing for my father. And so he was very happy about it. And we were all fellows sitting there. and I was a resident, actually I was not a fellow. So I was a measly person over there. So he says, now you tell me what you have done. So one fellow said this, the other said that, and then, one of us also came and I said, well, I pass. I said, I pass. So they said, no, you cannot pass. You have to answer. I said, no, I pass. No answer. That's great. You guys did good job. He says, no, Dr. you have to answer. I said, okay. So, said, but you're not going to mind my answer, please. Said, no. Said, okay. Said, okay. Said, well, the thing is that in our culture, in our religion, if my father is in a nursing home, there are one of the two things. Me and my family is dead. Okay? And our dependent, those who have inherited us, they are also dead. So there is really nobody alone, nobody to take care of them. That's the meaning. If any one of us is alive, that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. That is our religion. What's the point? The point is, and I said, my father, for example, at that time, and even today, he lives with my brother, which is true. Which is true. I have nothing to do with it. So may Allah bless those who do this. So what's the point? The point is, if you invest in your children, if you cultivate relationships based on love and based on religion and so on and so forth, inshallah, you will reap. And the most important thing in today's society in here is to protect our religion by argumentation and tawheed. So tawheed, spend time with the children so that when we grow up and they grow up. Now we have already grown. It is their time to grow. Then let me read you the other verse from Quran, which is about parents. And what does it say? It says that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ, and Allah has ordained that you are not going to worship anybody except Him. Again Tawheed. Right? And then what are you going to do? وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Now this word is very beautiful. What is ihsan? So first is Islam, the identification of truth. Second is Iman, love of truth. Third is Taqwa, action of truth. And there are other levels coming to ihsan, meaning acting on the truth out of love to obey Allah in a way which is beautiful. That's the meaning of this word. It's not that word that you are doing ihsan on the parents. It's not that. It is from the word husn. It's beautiful. In a beautiful manner. Okay? And it says that if one or both of them get old, grow old, then don't use the word even uffin. Don't even say oof to them. Right? And when Imam Jafar Sadiq was asked, Imam Jafar Sadiq said that in Arabic language, if there was a word less than 2 letters, Allah would have used that word and not this one. So not even that much to them. You cannot say that. And then pray for them. Right? In another words, that what? Talk to them with mercy, with kindness, and if you have a problem with them, pray for them, that may Allah grant us patience, for they raised us when we were nothing. Right? When we were very little, we couldn't do anything. So then what's the point? You see, the point is, if we don't pay attention to Tawheed, if our Tawheed is weak, Inshallah it is not. But if it is weak, if we have a problem in understanding Tawheed, that means we have a problem in Iman. That means we have a problem in Taqwa. That means the problem will be, there will be no ihsan, and you can see the manifestation. So if you are seeing places or times where parents are not getting their due respect, there is a problem. There is a problem. And the problem isn't where? The real problem resides in Tawheed. Because everything else comes from there. There is always going to be a problem. That's why you see Allah said that don't worship anybody except Him. First Tawheed. Tawheed is the first thing. So when these kind of things happen, what happens? Parents, nobody is taking care of them. Poor older people are out of care. Young people, when they are young, they are, just going whichever way they want to go. And the same generation, when they grow old, when it was their time to be taken care of, at the age 16, the parent says, go out, make your own life. When the parents grow 80, they say, go out, let us have our own fun. So that is important. It creates a bias, a personal bias. When we follow logic, when we follow Allah, it's a different social setup. It's a different society, and you can see the impact of belief and faith in everyday life. That's the point. The faith is not designed just to Maazallah, bang our head on the floor 5 times a day and then go home, or stay hungry 30 days in a year, and that's the end of it. There has to be an implication of that in life. It has to show, and that's the point. That's the point. Moving forward, inshallah. So, third example, I would like to say, let's say a salawat, inshallah. Third example is of husband and wife. I'm going to bring. And it says that among one of his signs is what? That he created you, you're made from you. This is a beautiful, we are going to talk about this at some other time, about the Prophet. Those who say that our Prophet is like us, we're going to talk about this at some other time. This word anfusikum is a beautiful word, and it has implications. So, and he says that the relationship between husband and wife is what? Mawadda wa rahma. Right? That's the relationship. This word of mawadda is used only one more time in Quran. One more time in Quran. There's only one more time this word, same word, which is when people came, which I talked about yesterday, that how much money he asked? Nothing. What did he say when he said, what are we going to pay you for whatever services you have made towards us of being a prophet? He says, from my progeny, love them. And mawadda is not love. It is way more than love. Devotion of an utmost kind. So this relationship between husband and wife is mawadda, love and devotion, and rahmah, and of beauty and of mercy towards each other. So each is a part of the other. Unfortunately, here, what do we say? Oh, Muslim women are oppressed. Muslim women are oppressed. They have to do hijab. We discussed it yesterday a little bit. What we don't understand, that in Islam, woman seeks the hand of the man, not the man seeking the hand of the woman. That's the fiqh issue. Woman sets the terms of the marriage, not the man. Man can only say yes or no. That's about it. Right? One thing. Secondly, when we are doing marriage and matrimony in Islam, there is laws devised by Allah. So it's a marriage where both people are equal to each other. one is not subservient to the other. Because the marriage exists due to the laws designed by a third party. Man has not designed the marriage. Woman has not designed the marriage. The marriage is a willful act where two willing parties are coming together to create a bond of love out of equality. Nobody is beneath the other. They both are equal. It is a different thing that the role of a man is to protect. They are Qawwam. They are not their masters. They are protectors. They are the guardians. Our children, we are the guardians over them. They are not our slaves. We are guardian over them. We are protector over them. We love them. So the word guardian, we are Qawwam over them. So it's a relation. So the relationship, when it's bred out of equality and out of respect, out of love, out of mercy, forgiveness, it's a beautiful relationship. It's supposed to be a beautiful relationship. If we forget those kind of parameters, again, we forget Allah, Huququllah, what is our responsibility? We are answerable to Allah. Messed up family life. Always fighting, having a problem. Just like that. Why? Because when there is a dispute, it's either your word versus mine. Either it's your way or my way. If it is Allah's way, everything will be fine. Because we will agree to whatever Allah has said. If I am at fault, inshallah, I will do istighfar. If the wife is at fault, inshallah, she will do istighfar. If we are both at fault, inshallah, both of us will do istighfar. And I recited the verse of Adam and Eve. رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا إِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. When they erred, they made a mistake. They didn't go on pointing fingers at each other. Wow. You told me. Wow. It is because of you that I came down. You didn't say this. I would have been happy there. Or Hawwa would say, Hazrat Hawwa would say, oh, who told you to follow me? Do we get that kind of conversation? No. Since they both were believers in Allah. Wow. They said, well, this is not the right outcome. This is not what it should have happened. So they both realized, and that's what he said, Rabbana zalamna. We both of us did that. Anfusana, right? So that's the beauty of it. So, and it is applicable to our daily life today. So Tawheed is not something which is trivial. Huququllah are not something which are to be trampled with and they are trivial. They are extremely important. We need to understand them. And how to put us on that path? It is the following way, which is this. Again, do ta'abbud. It is again, I talked about beard yesterday. I'm going to talk about it today too. Sorry. But people, always used to come to Imam Ali. And their point was to pull his leg. He's going to war or going to something to help Islam. They want to delay him. So they come and say, which sin is the, kaun sa guna sabse bada hai? Which sin is the biggest sin? So their point was that Imam Ali is going to give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20. So at least, a few minutes delay. Imam Ali, while moving towards his horse, said, whatever is the easiest for you to commit. Whatever is the easiest for you to commit, at that instance, you considered yourself better than Allah. Which is a satanic trait. Or the trait of those who have lost their way. Inshallah, Aziz or Musta'an, what I am inviting you to is not the beard. It's not the point. Point is not beard. Point is ta'abbud. Prophet said, cut it. No questions. Cut it. Prophet said, stand. Stand. Hazrat Abbas said, Imam Hussain said, move the camp. Move the camp. He says, beard, beard. Finished. That's it. No questions asked. So that cultivates a different personality and a different behavior. That's a different life. That's what I'm inviting myself and all of us, inshallah. The invitation is towards a path, not towards an act. Inshallah, al-Aziz al-Musta'an, we will all ponder upon it.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So the next thing is the hukuk of innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. Now whoever has seen Imam Raza, the serial, I think most of us, if not all of us, have seen Imam Raza the serial. The first scene, or very few, among the few scenes, first few scenes, is when this girl is brought and many of her tribes people are brought and they are sitting there and the Medina ruler is coming. The ruler of Medina comes and he is trying to pass a judgment. The follower of Imam Raza comes and does what? Supports them, because they know what is going on behind the scene. So this oppressor government, the illegal government, illegitimate government, but anyway it is a government, they have rounded up people. But Imam's followers come to defend them. Because innamal mu'minuna ikhwa, if my brother is in trouble, I am not going to leave them alone. And mashallah, this community acted fabulously towards a brother who was detained by Saudis in the Hajj. One mu'min, it is all of us. It's one of us is all of us. Because we are brothers. We are, inshallah, going to think good about each other, not bad about each other. We are, inshallah, in time of need, are there to support each other and not leave each other alone. Inshallah wal Aziz, we will continue this kind of things both internally as we did externally. So this is, inshallah, haqq of each other, to support and to feel and to think good about each other. If a bad thought comes, let it go. Let it go.
By Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
So a person comes to our Prophet and says, my mother is elderly, she cannot eat, she cannot drink, she cannot clean herself, she cannot bathe herself, I do everything for her. I do everything for her. I've been doing this for many years. Have I fulfilled her dues on me? He comes. And then Prophet says, what? You have not paid the first sigh she took for you when she was delivering you. This is the role. This is the role of mother and parents, all including. The role of father is also very, very great. And there are many, many ahadith in this regard. Okay. So, let us, inshallah, remind each other of these things, that we have to practice huququllah and huququl ibad together. There is no dichotomy. Just like there is no dichotomy between deen and dunya, between this world and religion, worldly affairs and religion, similarly there is no dichotomy between huququllah and huququl ibad. If we don't know huququllah, there is no concept of huququl ibad, because then it becomes basically huququl ibad defined by me, not by Allah. Inshallah al-Aziz al-Musta'an. So now going back to, I'm going to bring a conversation between Imam Ali and Bibi Fatima at the time of demise of Bibi Fatima. And the idea is, you see, this conversation reflects the type of life they have lived together. And inshallah, the reason for bringing this up is to present a model of life between husbands and wife among each other. And I must tell you that some of these lines, all of these lines I have verified from the Tafasir of Nahj al-Balagha. That's number one. So this is a verified version. But some of this is also available on the internet, and it is there for whoever wants to see. It is present on the internet as well. So that's that. However, I think it is pertinent to discuss this here. So she says, Ali, you know that this is the last day of my life. Okay, Hazrat Zahra is talking to Imam Ali. I am happy and I am also sad. Happy that my troubles shall shortly be over and I shall meet my father. And I am sorry to part with you. Please, Ali, make a note of what I say and do as I wish you to do. After me, you may marry anybody you like, but you must marry my cousin Yaman. She loves my children and Hussein is very much attached to her. Let Fizza remain with you even after her marriage, if she so desires. I loved her. I didn't treat her like servant. I loved her like my daughter. Ali, bury me at night and do not let those who have been so cruel to me attend my burial. Let my death not dishearten you. You have to serve Islam and humanity for a long time to come. Let not my suffering embitter your life. Let it not make your life bitter. Promise me, Ali. Imam Ali said, yes, Fatima, I promise. Then Hazrat Fatima continued and said, Ali, I know that you love my children. But be very careful of Hussein. He loves me dearly and will miss me dearly. And will miss me sadly and be a mother to him. Till my recent illness, he used to sleep on my chest. And he is already missing it. Do not weep, Ali. I know with a rough outward appearance what a tender heart you possess. You already have borne too much and will have to bear more. Farewell, Ali. Say goodbye to me. Imam Ali had choked voice and he said goodbye to Hazrat Fatima, and then he says, then Hazrat Fatima said, may the merciful Lord help you to bear these sorrows and suffering patiently. And now let me be alone with God, with Allah. And saying this, she turned towards her prayer rug and prostrated and did sajda to Allah. After a little while, when Imam came to the room, he found her dead and he passed away. She passed away. And Imam Ali said that the flower was nipped in the bud and it was from paradise that it was sent to me. And it went again. And it has left its fragrance in my mind. This is the beauty of relationship between husband and wife. That when they are alive, they know each other and they take care of each other. And if they are parting, they console each other even at that time. What a beautiful relationship it must be. Inshallah, we should strive for that. It is all about Tawheed. And it was to, so inshallah we will strive for these kind of relationship and these type of huququl ibad, learn from huququllah. And it was to say these same huququllah and huququl ibad that Imam Hussein rose up to create clarity out of confusion. And it was to save Islam and its ways that Zainab gave up her everything, including her chadar. What is our haqq on Hazrat Zainab and our Imam? We need to submit. We need to give up ourselves to him. Inshallah. Today's Masahib was about Hazrat Ali Asghar. And there are two versions of martyrdom are available. One version of martyrdom is that after the Imam Hussein said, Hal min nasir yansurna, is there anybody to help the Haram of Hussein, Haram of Rasul, the Prophet? Is there anybody in around to come and get some sawab? Nobody came. Nobody came. And it is said that Imams sight fell upon a child. That's one version of it. When Imam went to take this child into his arms, an arrow came and hit the child at the time near the camp, and the child passed away, and Imam dug his grave and buried him there. That is one version of Hazrat Ali Asghar. In some Maqatil books and in some history books, there is another version, which is that when Imam did the Sada Istighasa, he rose his voice and said, Hal min nasir yansurna. It was the Rabab, her child, who was about 6 months old, became tremulous, and the news was sent to Imam Hussain, and Imam took the child out. And after this, Hurmala narrates himself what he did. Those of you who have seen Mukhtar know what he did, because if you have watched Hurmala there. So this is the narrator himself narrating. It says that Imam brought the child out. Imam took the child out and said that, "Oh people, you have betrayed us. We are thirsty. You are against me. This child is 6 months old. He is thirsty. And please feed him." The people did nothing. They were quiet. Imam came forward, raised the child in his hand, and said, "If you have animosity towards me, what has this child done?" The child was so thirsty, Yazid's army could see him. They were not that far away. And after seeing him, they started to argue among each other. They started to argue among each other. Many people came and said to Umar Azad, "Give water to this child." He said, "Hussain is a different story. Give water to this child." The army of Imam Hussain, the army of Yazid was trembling, and at that time, this Hurmala ibn Qail from the tribe of Bani Asad, he is called, and he says, "Iqta kalam al-Hussain." "Oh Hurmala, what are you watching? What are you seeing? Hussain is doing this to my army with this 6-month-old child. Cut the tongue of Hussain. Cut his speech." And Hurmala took the arrow, which was 3-pronged arrow. It had 3 arrows in it, and he points towards Hazrat Imam Hussain and shoots towards him, and the arrow pierces the child's throat. Curse of Allah fall upon such people. And these people, and it says that it was so much force that the child turned over in the hands of Imam Hussain. And the blood came upon the Imam's hand and Imam's face, and he put it towards the sky and somewhere towards his face. And he said that this is how I'm going to see my grandfather. That these people do not even have mercy over 6-month-old children. And it is for that we do what? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. He was thinking that how am I going to take this child to the mother? So he goes forward 7 steps and goes back 7 steps. Goes forward 7 steps. He did 7 times before he had the courage to bring this child to the mother. And she said, he told her that be patient, oh lady, Allah will give water to this child at Kawthar. Inshallah, Allah will accept this majlis as a worship, inshallah. May Allah grant us the will and the strength to choose the path towards Him, the true freedom. Freedom from ourselves and freedom towards salvation and growth, inshallah. Oh Allah, those who are in need, fulfill their needs. Those who are sick, remove their sickness and grant them health. Those who are in debt, remove their debt. Those who are usurping the affairs of Muslimin, remove them from power, from the seat of power. Oh Allah, those among us who are fighting or who are striving on the way of Allah, help us succeed. bring down the flag of those who are trying to harm Islam, expedite the arrival of our Imam, and inshallah allow us to be among his companions and aides. برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. تو کس کے؟ Okay. But for those who are sick, please let's do Amma Yujib. Many people do 3, some do 5, some do 7 times. Let's do 7 times inshallah. Okay, Amma Yujib al-Mustarra idha da'ahu wa yakshif as-su. And then do a Fatiha after that. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Amma Yujib al-Mustarra idha da'ahu wa yakshif as-su. 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 May Allah inshallah grant health to Jumla Mu'mineen wa Mu'minat inshallah. Do a Surah Fatiha for the souls of Jumla Mu'mineen wa Mu'minat who have passed away and not among us. Inshallah, may Allah bless them. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
شام والوں سے سجاد کہا کرتے تھے کیا زمانہ تھا کہ جب ہم بھی بسا کرتے تھے ہم کیا کرتے تھے قرآن کی تفسیر بیان انبیاء کے بسد ناز سنا کرتے تھے شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ ہر گلی شہزادیوں کو ایسے تمغے نہ پھراؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ تم کفا کے حلتا کے ہیں یہ وارث انما کے تم کفا کے حلتا کے ہیں یہ وارث انما کے سر برہنا ہے نہ دیکھو اپنی نظروں کو جھکاؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ چلتے چلتے ڈھل چکی ہے رات گلیوں میں ہماری چلتے چلتے ڈھل چکی ہے رات گلیوں میں ہماری تھک گئے ہیں قیدی بچے بے گناہوں کو بٹھاؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ بھیڑ کی یہ نہیں آتی یہ تو عصمت کی پلی ہے، بھیڑ کی یہ نہیں آتی، یہ تو عصمت کی پلی ہے، در بدرین کو رلا کے مجھ کو ناخون رلاؤ، شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ، شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ، دیکھ لو آل نبی ہیں ہم ہی اولاد علی ہیں، دیکھ لو آل نبی ہیں ہم ہی اولاد علی ہیں، ہم نے کیا جرم کیا ہے ہم کو اتنا تو بتاؤ، شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ، شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ، شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ، شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ، ہر گلی شہزادیوں کو ایسے تم گھر نہ پھراؤ، شام والوں بیٹیاں ہیں یہ نبی کی نہ ستاؤ،
اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، السلام علیکم یا ابا عبداللہ، السلام علیکم یا ابن رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم یا ابا عبداللہ الحسین وعلی علی ابن الحسین وعلی اولاد الحسین وعلی اصحاب الحسین، خصوصاً سیدی و مولا و ابوالفضل عباس ابن امیر المومنین، السلام علیکم سادات شہداء کربلا وسیران کربلا و شام ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم یا غریب الغرباء، السلام علیکم یا معین الضعفاء الفقراء سلطان ابو الحسن علی ابن موسی رضا، کن شفیعنا و شفیع والدین فی الجوم الجزا ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم یا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام علیکم یا خلیفۃ الرحمن، السلام علیکم یا کعبۃ الایمان، السلام علیکم یا امام الانس والجان، الامان 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 من فتنة الزمان، اجل اللہ تعالی فرجک و ساحل و مخرجک ظہورا وجعلنا من اوانک و انصارک ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔